And kicking back with me today, Chepe Mariscal, victorious after UFC 103. Congrats and welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, great to be on.
So, you're on a streak, you're killing it, you're crushing it. But first and foremost, I just want to ask how you're feeling because you kind of dodged, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you took a couple of elbows, but you dodged a few of those too. But how you feeling now, just a couple days after the fight?
I feel good right now. I even went to strength and conditioning this morning to get the body moving. I just built stiffness after like a plane ride. I
Yeah.
get a little stiff, so I like to go and move my body a little bit. I feel way better. Already hit the hot tub. Did some stretches, been drinking water, and just doing whatever I can to do the proper recovery and just get back on the road.
It's amazing because like I think of all the weekend warriors and stuff out there, Chepe, who like maybe like got a workout in over the weekend and are limping to the office on Monday. You're in a freaking war, and you're like, yeah, I'll just go to S&C to shake it out. It's pretty incredible. But I know obviously that is like I've heard fighters say too, like they go back and they're like, well, all my friends are at the gym and I want to go see everybody anyway too.
Yeah, for sure. I just do it for like health purposes,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
joints and break up the blood and and keeping, that movement going, like
Mm.
I got something going good. I'm trying to stay busy this year, so might as well like just get back on the road, There's no like if it was any more like crazier injuries maybe, but I got my hand checked and that's good. So I'm just taking care of the little bruises and then
Uh-huh.
back on, the training grounds.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about the fight. And yeah, your hands should probably get checked. One of the stats I saw said that you outstruck him. I want to get the number right. They claim it was 125 to 37 that you
Yeah.
outstruck Ricardo Ramos. So, did you know going in volume that was going to be part of the game plan?
No, I think it's just my fighting style. It's
Yeah.
the consistency and creating chaos. Keep having my opponent. Consistently thinking of my hands, my kicks, my knees, elbows, switching my stance. Like be the real example of a mixed martial artist.
Mhm. And so with the nickname Machine Gun, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did you always fight like that, and then they gave you the nickname Machine Gun because of the hands, or did they give you the, you know what I mean? Which came first?
No, my fighting style for sure came
Yeah.
first. I was always fighting like that, even when I was young.
Okay.
It's just now it's more controlled chaos. It's
Mhm.
not like I'm not trying to, live by the sword, die by the sword kind of method. So I
Yeah.
kind of want to pick my shots these like this time around, especially with in the bigger leagues, and a vet like Ramos. So I was like, I respected his spin attacks. He fought very different this fight. He fought
Mhm.
very, good defense.
Mhm.
Kept his hips away as much as he could, and try to capitalize in little holes that he was finding.
Well, okay, you bring up a few things. So I like that your style was always like that because I don't like when people get a nickname before they've established who they are or whatever. I think it's great that you're that way. But you did come into the UFC with a lot of hype and a lot of buzz because of that experience that you had going, from before. So I want to ask you about that. Like when you came in, you were kind of, the fighter's fighter, and you were like the worst kept best secret, you know what I mean? Or however they phrase it, like the worst kept secret in terms of the guys coming up. So did you feel that you had a certain amount of pressure on you anyway to deliver once you got here?
Yeah, for sure. I just
Yeah,
wanted to set the example of like I do belong here though,
yeah.
like I that's why I haven't said no to no opponent. I've taken new blood, I've taken vets, I've taken the guys that are who have big names across the oceans, so it's like I'm just trying to keep that flow going, and that's who I am. I've always wanted to challenge nothing but the best guys, and I'm definitely not going to try to shy away from it now, especially in the big leagues.
And so based on what you just said a couple seconds ago too, fight IQ is important to you, right? And continuing to evolve that, continuing to gain more knowledge. And so it's one of those things when fans would be like, "Oh, cool, Chip, you guys got fight of the night or something," and fighters are like, "Yo, I just want a performance bonus because fight of the night means the other guy got off too."
Yeah, for sure. So it's just evolving from that too. Like I
Yeah.
want to I want to be part of the big part of the business of, getting finishes and
Hmm.
knockouts, and really getting, my style really out there. Like I feel like I'm still building this character in there and really trying to get into, like, maybe if I had an arena, maybe it will pump me up to get a finish, or
Hmm.
maybe the atmosphere has to be different, like. And I feel like, I think I just always like meeting those challenges.
Hmm.
So it's like, why not try it? Like the last time I was on the pay-per-view card with Jax, I finished
Hmm.
them, so I feel like I need that kind of like push, that little like the right vibe out there to like get those little pushes, or just learn how to create them myself.
Well, and you'll get more opportunity this year with all the construction at the Apex. We are going to be out on the road more and stuff. And I get that, but also you shouldn't be too hard on yourself, because as you keep moving along in UFC, your competition's getting better and better. So,
Mhm.
your desire to get a finish is coupled with the fact that the talent you're facing now is harder and harder to finish.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can't be too hard on yourself about that. But what is it? What do you think you have learned the most? I mean, you're undefeated in the UFC since you got here, so it's five fights, right? Five, yeah, five. Um, just in that amount of time, you have evolved and you have gotten smarter and you have gotten better. What do you think as like a noticeable thing that you've recognized in the last fight since the first one when you got
Uh,
here?
yeah, just readjusting my camp, and the
Yeah.
people around me. The way the people I hang out with.
Hmm.
Like going to church, like doing things differently. Putting a consistency like in my schedule, so
Hmm.
it's like that with my training. So I'm doing like I look at it as like, keeping it peaceful outside of the room,
Hmm.
because like, it's easy to get caught up in the game. It's easy to follow those echoes from the gym home, and you don't want to feel, you don't have to, it's like, you know I like to give the practice 100% of my attention for 1 hour, and that
Hmm.
1 hour is like super serious, and then we have like 30 minutes of like talking about like what we're gonna do to improve, and the right mindset for every camp, and especially with this camp, it was very different because my wife is pregnant, and
Hmm.
the baby's due any day right now, so it was like,
Oh,
like we just had to stay in the right mindset the whole time,
yeah.
and that's what we did. And that's what I'm just learning more and more about myself, like, if you really have confidence and you really build around you, you can really, um, accomplish all these goals and dreams that you set for
Mhm.
yourself.
That sounds wonderful, and it sounds like you are really taking to heart the idea of work-life balance and all of that. But it is so hard, especially your job it's an all-in job. Even, it
Yeah.
is something that kind of you have to be conscious of at all times, right? Even when you're off the clock, can I have that cookie? Or can I, do that kind of thing? I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Or maybe you're not so bad when you're out of camp. Are you the guy that like does allow yourself a little bit of to relax a little when it's not 100% fight camp?
Uh, yeah, of course. Like
Yeah.
I like taking my lady on a date or going
Yeah.
out with the team to eat like a victory thing.
Uh-huh.
I give myself those kind of rewards, but
Hmm.
I'm consistently training. I'm always,
Yeah.
like we could say like right now, like there's no like my wife's working, everybody's at the
Hmm.
gym, like all my coaches are working again. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, what am I gonna do home? Like it's not who I am. I don't like staying
Yeah.
inside, and like I could do these small recoveries or make somebody else's day, like
Yeah.
motivate my teammates, or like my coaches, or showing my appreciation to my whole team and my family that were supporting me, the fans that I could reach to, or get the interviews that I need, like things like that. So I try to like stay busy within the game as well, but it's always going to be there, like I know I'm gonna have a daughter and stuff like that, and everybody's like wondering when I could get back in, but
Yeah.
that's all about like we're gonna see that situation first. But
Yeah.
I'm obviously gonna be training somewhere mentally,
Uh-huh.
spiritually, like I'm just in it for right now until the moon changes.
Nice. And so you said she's due any day now?
Yeah, any day. So it would be March 12th, but they always say it's maybe early or a little later. We just
Right.
playing that curiosity game as well.
It's really exciting. That's and do you have other kids yet, or I don't even remember. I'm sorry. Do
I
you?
do. I have an 11-year-old son. He's in
Oh,
Florida. You know, he's not big on the fight stuff. You know,
okay,
but you know, I just let him know I win. He's like, oh, I knew you would win, and that's cool. So
that's cool. That's cool. Well, it's. I asked because so often fighters talk about their motivation, changing when they have children, and and it's a whole other thing. And it's interesting now that you're going to have a little baby girl too, because I'm surprised you have a son, because all the fighters usually have daughters. You know that, right?
yeah, which is crazy, right? And then everybody thinks my son should be like the next me, but I'm like, ah,
Yeah,
man, we gotta dig somewhere deep, you know, to be where we want to be in this kind of sport, you know.
yeah,
So I'm like, a lot of crazy stuff would have to happen, and that, you know, obviously I wouldn't allow for him to be in this kind of situation, you know. So
yeah.
like she obviously would be in the sport. Like I want her to do jiu-jitsu and stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't think contact sport like kickboxing or boxing is like
Hmm.
healthy for like the brain that's not fully developed.
Sure.
So I feel like, you know, some safe grappling, some just knowing how to defend herself, you know, and then she's going to be around the whole time of my career. So it's
Yeah.
just, you know, that blue flame that I need in my life, you know.
I love it. It's beautiful. And speaking of the grappling, so you already had a black belt in judo, so you were given your black belt in jiu-jitsu after this fight, right?
Yeah, as we seen, Ramos is a black belt in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
and he caught me with a sneaky calf slicer in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
we didn't drill that escape, but I'm glad I got out. But
Yeah.
like I know the guy's a very experienced black belt. He's
Hmm.
taken out a lot of other black belts in pure jiu-jitsu.
Hmm.
So and I worked very hard this full camp with nothing but jiu-jitsu
Hmm.
defenses, offenses. I even try to get an ankle lock, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
trying to make it where it's all mixed. Like oh, you're gonna take me down, but you're gonna go through some shit. You know, like
Yeah.
you might get caught, you might get punched. You know, I
Right.
even I even did an advanced like leg lock attack. You know, I let him try to get my back, and I rolled, and that's when I got it fully. But he's a black belt, had a great defense as well. So I
Yeah.
felt like out grappling him in the MMA the MMA department felt just
Hmm.
great. And then you know, capitalizing on that, and then yeah,
Nice. No, I mean it was a hell of a performance, but there was I forget what did John say at one point? Because I mean, like what is your chin made of? I mean, because like some of those elbows were vicious. Like I mean, they just looked kind of brutal.
yeah, it's just like so like I was explaining, like I think it's more of knowing that you possibly will get hit. So I
Okay.
didn't like I think when you don't think you're not gonna get hit and you do get hit by it,
Uh-huh.
you might mentally get shook. And when you
Okay.
get mentally shook, it can go as deep as spiritually. So it could break a fighter's will. So I felt like when I was like, oh, like when I got caught by it, I was like, damn, that was actually good. You know, he is a UFC fighter. He is
Yeah.
a well-known specialist of this attack. You know,
Yeah.
he probably does seminars of the thing.
Right.
So it's like, man, I'm not gonna look at that and just be like, oh my god, I like not like treat it like an anime where I get
Mhm.
attacked and then it's like 30 seconds of standing still. Like I just want to keep it, you know, consistently moving. You know, like
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna eat that, but you know, like I'm coming back and giving more.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to think of it. I mean, are you in general? It sounds then like you are the kind of guy that comes to terms with worst possible scenarios before a fight or something, right? Because like some people say, hey, I don't even want to envision the idea of losing, like losing's not an option. I don't even want to put that thought in my head. And then other people say, hey, yeah, I'm going to consider every single option. Losing this fight is a possibility. I've accepted that before I even start it. And that gives me the freedom to just go in there and see what happens. Like, what's your approach in terms of your mindset before you go in there?
Yeah, for sure. It's not like not giving up. Like you
Yeah.
have to kill like something very deep in me, like that has to like you have to really get to me and really be like the warrior inside. But it seems like it's doing well on its own
Hmm.
and doing progress and it's about I look for any kind of situation to win. You know, I'll
Hmm.
do whatever I can. If I hear my corner telling me that I need to do more, I will do more or I'll feel it in the blood where I'm like, oh, I got to do more. I got to consistently attack. I got to just keep going. You know, hopefully I chip away, he falls, you know, or I get a TKO or there's an opening for a submission. So I felt like um, Ramos had a great game plan coming to this fight. It obviously didn't work because I felt like he was a one trick pony.
Hmm.
He had just sharp sniper attacks. It
Yeah.
was obviously that, and he did very well. I know this is the second time I fought that corner,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I didn't even know until I saw Ramos, and then his corner was waving at me, and I was like, "Oh, it's these guys. I fought these
Yeah.
guys before." And
Yeah.
it was just like, showing them too, like, hey man, like I'm a different animal. Like
Yeah.
I was switching my stance hardcore, like I was
Yeah.
staying southpaw, writing that out, and then switching back to my stance and really shutting them down, just showing that I could really go out there and have fun. I even did like a flying side kick,
Yeah.
like keeping it just entertained,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, like I think it's different when it's like an arena.
Hmm.
I feel like
Yeah.
people would drive more into it, than the Apex.
Yeah.
The Apex gets a little serious.
It does. It does. I feel bad for you guys because, like, as someone who works there, we're spoiled because the access is so incredible and you're fighting so close. But I know it's so hard to not have those fans screaming at you, and I feel bad for the fans that can't be there because yeah, it's different. I feel like it's a great place for people on the come up or something who need to sometimes still hear their coaches or whatever. But you're a showman and you deserve a crowd, and yeah, that fight, if you guys had been in front of a crowd, they would have been going bananas. So I mean, geez.
For
I
sure.
mean, I know people were screaming at the TV, I'm sure, and I'm sure. Do you know where you got that work ethic? Is that something that you always had?
What's crazy is I just read it a lot in like warrior kind of stuff, and
Huh?
in kind of like anime and video games and stuff
Hmm.
like that, where this kind of game, like in this, if you do things the right way,
Hmm.
like you can make it a long run in the fight game. You
Yeah.
could change things along the way, as you can see like other fighters along the way where they had a good beginning in their 20s, and then they suddenly hiccup and they have these losing streaks, but then they come back and they're doing great. Like that's
Hmm.
the thing, like there's stories of that kind of style, like just those fighters, and they're out there, and I feel like I was that fighter. Like I was fed to the wolves in the beginning. I
Hmm.
really know where I was as a fighter and a person. So I feel like, um, even fighting at the Apex, I feel like I've had nothing but growth in my career and the personality that I have and the character I want to be in the game and how I want to represent. Like I'm competitive. It's the
Yeah.
game's about being competitive, and
Uh-huh.
you have to really try to beat me at my best. And my best is always out there. I'm willing to die on my shield for the game.
Yeah, I think that really comes through, and I think that's why, like I said, right, you came in with a lot of fanfare, and then you proved it right away. And so every time you fight, I think that's something that we, as the commentators and stuff, talk about. That you're kind of a must-see TV guy now, and everybody should know that. And especially once again, folks, 125 to 37 is how much you outstruck your opponent, which is pretty incredible. So okay, you said it a couple times. My kid is into anime and manga and all that. I got to ask you, which ones do you watch, or which games do you play? When you're not fighting and all that, which are the ones that you draw on, or which are the ones you find the most fun?
So I'm big on like Dragon Ball Z, but right
Uh-huh.
now I was big on Tech on Titans because they take angles to kill the Titans. So I was
Uh-huh.
like, wow, I gotta put that in my fighting style. Not being a like a front to front fighter, but a
Yeah,
fighter
yeah.
to fight in all angles. And like I see in the anime, they switch stands with the
Uh-huh.
blades and everything. Like they just they kill Titans like kind of like a free Matrix style. And I
Yeah.
feel like applying that to my fight game, I feel like it's just added on to this character I want to be, where it's not boring. Oh, like I hurt my hand and I was able to go switch my stance, and that's why I was slapping more than punching, and
Yeah.
like just making it where, man, you gotta really have to like really take out something or really knock me out or submit me to really beat me. But like, good luck.
I love it. Well, AOT is great, and that's such a great reference too. I remember a few years back, my kid taught me the dance. There was like the whole AOT, like and like I
Yeah.
know the song, like it's yeah, it's great. That's a really really good one. I actually yeah, that's a real good one. I like that. Makes a lot of sense. Well, cool. So, how much time do you think you'll take off and rest and stuff? Obviously, like you said, you got the baby on the way, so hopefully you and the missus can just enjoy some time with your baby girl for a while. How quickly do you think you'd like to fight again?
It be would be cool. Would be like end of May or June,
Yeah.
like beginning of June, something
Hmm.
like that. I was even thinking of doing like this fight and then trying to get on the September card from Mexico's,
Yeah.
the Mexico card, like something more. I just want to stay busy, so it'd be
Yeah.
cool to like get 3 more fights this year,
Hmm.
and like I said, my daughter's gonna just be part of the lifestyle, like
Yeah.
she'll be at my fights, with Claire most likely. So
Hmm.
it's just that kind of schedule right now. Like it's gonna be busy. I gotta stay consistent, and especially if I want a title run, like I
Yeah.
gotta get there at the right age. I feel like in the right mindset,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, like just here, like up from here now.
I love it. I love it. And last thing before I let you go, then who do you think becomes the champ? Are we talking Volk again, or are we talking Diego?
It's tough, right? We got this dude that's hungry who's been
Yeah.
losing. Who's been the champ. Like I said, he this could be a story of his comeback, or it could be the story of Lopez really
Hmm.
owning this throne that he's been creating for himself. As you can
Hmm.
see, he doesn't say no to no opponent. He's
Nope.
called out. He fought the Russian where nobody else wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
So he's just been a great example of that MMA lifestyle, as well
Hmm.
as he's staying more busy than all these other guys. He doesn't say no, and he's gonna be, he's gonna be in Volk's face. He's liked to make it dirty. He's got that, that Brazilian fighting style, a
Yep.
little bit of, with the Mexican spice on top.
Hmm.
But that's the thing, like, and he's entertaining.
Yeah.
He's dangerous everywhere. So it's just a new upcomer that could really, beat this guy. Maybe it's his window to go, but we'll see. We'll see who's really on it, but I really got my vote for Lopez.
Yeah, he really is something special. He's so fun to watch. The mullet flying in the air is fantastic. And yeah, like his fight style is just so exciting, but Volk is the man. And like when we think about how much, Max was exalted and then Volk did, you're like, wait, what? And people forget, yeah, how good Volk is. Yeah, I like how you broke that down because there's a few different storylines, a few ways it could go. It's interesting either way. I think it's awesome. So cool, cool, cool. So, best of luck to you, and congrats on just all your success so far. Congrats in advance on your new baby girl. That's just awesome to you for you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time today. I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm glad you're able to go and get the lactic acid out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, cool. Well, Chepe, it's been great to see you today, and we all look forward to your next fight because yeah, you are absolutely the embodiment of the machine gun, and you're definitely a good time, must see TV. So thanks so much today for kicking back, and I'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.